Okay guys, how you doing out there? First of all, my name is Kenneth Bird. I'm the creator of Crystal H Technology projection screens using smart technology gain. Also the inventor of the Fusion Silver, Fusion Black, and the Future Tech 4K. You guys seen the demonstration with the 300 watts of light directly hitting our blackout cloth and fixed frame screens. This is 400 watts of light directly. Now mind you how I keep saying directly hitting our titanium 4K gold by Future Tech. Now, just want to point this out really quick. You know, some people might look at this and say, oh, you're a hater, you're this, that, and the other. No, I like it when tests are done properly. You know what I mean? Mind you, if you work at a profession for so many years and you watch somebody doing it wrong, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to try to correct them on it because you know it's being done wrong. So I'm going to show you something really quick. Now, mind you, this is 400 watts of light. Not 4,400. Let me show you what you need to look for. Now that's the reason why I tell you that some people will half-step their demonstrations and use a lot of smoke and mirrors to make their screen appear that it's doing something that it's not. First of all, I want you to look at how much light is cascading on the floor. And I got a hardwooden floor so you can see the physical light hitting the screen. My light isn't over here and hitting the screen. My light is directly on top of the screen. Now you see these little lamps right here, just a little less, and you can get these over at Home Depot for around like $8, some a little more. And you know, 100-watt light bulbs aren't that expensive. You know what I mean? So this is actual physical light hitting the screen. That's why the projector off to show you how much physical light is hitting the screen. Second of all, say if I were using 4,000 watts of light, and especially if the way the light is being directed. Now the light here is being cast down. I got to explain the physics of light, which is kind of a shame because some people don't understand how it works. But when your light casts down, this covers the light, it shields it, and it basically contains it so it comes down, straight down. So that's where the light is cascading down the screen. Now if it didn't have this lamp on it, the light would be all over the place, all right? So when you're using 4,000, say someone's using 4,000 watts of light and there's no shield around it, that means that entire area behind the back of it would be completely illuminated, which means all this would be well lit, all right? All this around the side, this would be all well lit because it's about 4,000 watts of light, not 400, 4,000 watts of light are hitting it. Now, another thing you have to watch out for is the projector. How close is the projector to the screen? Now, if you notice, the smaller the screen, if it fits perfectly within that square, that means the projector is sitting literally right up on top of the screen. All right? Now, if you're hitting the screen with about, let's say, 4,000 watts of light, that means that entire screen from edge to edge would be completely bright. Get what I'm saying? All this would be bright. Corner to corner would be bright. The floor, notice that's another key part you have to look for. That's a huge red flag. Look at the floor where the projector is sitting. How much light is hitting the floor? Now watch this. Now if I take my lamp here and I point it over here, you see how the floor is light? How much light is hitting the floor? That's because there's light directly hitting that floor. Now see how it's a little dark there? My light is directly hitting on the screen. Right there. Now, mind you, if that is make sure my light is actually physically on my screen. Sorry about that. But if that is 4,000 watts of light, that entire area would be, all this would be lit. Now the fact that it's dark in this area, that light isn't physically hitting the screen. That means it's redirected someplace else, but it's giving the illusion that it is hitting the screen. This is the kind of stuff that people have to understand, that maybe the everyday Joe doesn't know much about projectors, might not pick up on it, but people have been in the field for like 7-8 years, we see it. People who give out contracts for companies, for people like me, see it. And no matter how you fake this, the problem is that they will take it down to a facility and try to do the exact thing you just did. And if it doesn't, then you're screwed. Sorry to use that form of language, but you are. Anyway, so let me show you. One of the things people fail to do when they do these demonstrations is, where does the projector sit Where is your projector? How far does your projector hit? Because you have to understand, this isn't a light test to show off exactly how far, how much light the screen can take in, but it's a demonstration on when a projector is sitting back, especially a long throw such as this. The long throw would have to travel through all this extreme light, because I have lighting in here and I have lighting in the other room. It has to travel through all this light. Now mind you, as these lumens are traveling through all this light, it's losing its ability. All right, when it hits the screen, it's got to come back and show a perfect picture, which means any area in that picture, when I do these demonstrations, any area picture that looks washed out, it's unusable. The screen must show a perfect image. All the way down, colors, everything must be vivid, must be bright. All right, so let's get started. Let me show you how far our projector sits back. Now mind you, my measuring tape here is 16 feet. I've done this at 19 feet back. We are 16 feet back. Anytime you see me do these demonstrations, you will see me pull out a measuring tape, and you will let you show you how far my projector is sitting back. Now, just to show you, you don't need an expensive projector. Now, mind you, I know some of you guys are saying, well, look, man, you said the future tech is going to be, it may be NDA. Yeah, it may be NDA, but you've seen me do demonstrations 16, 17, 20 feet back, doing against our blackout cloth and our screens. We did a screen about maybe 12, 13 feet back with about 300 watts of light hitting the screen. And as you can see, that whole entire screen was illuminated. Now look at this. We're using an NEC VT595 projector at 2,000 lumens. It doesn't make a difference if your projector is 1,600 lumens, 1,500 lumens, 50 lumens. If your projector is sitting literally right up on top of the screen, that doesn't make a difference. This is why I can never understand doing demonstrations with short throws. Short throws literally sit right up on top of the screen. The only time I did a demonstration, when I do demonstrations with short throws, is I have to be able to test the screen and be able to back up what it can do. Now, when I usually bring it upstairs and I put it on the big screen with the short throw, that the first sample sheet that when we first designed the chemical on, it's been put through all kinds of rigorous testing. I can go back and say, hey, look, someone can say, well, guess what? You got your screen on a short throw. Well, guess what? If you go through my archives, you will see that exact same color on a sample sheet that we have done in these same demonstrations. Hit with 300 watts of light, hit with low entry level projectors, hit with versus some of the highest and top screens on the market. The screen has passed. It has a right to be sitting up on my wall on a short throw, because guess what? It's passed its test. So here we are, 16 feet back, fully lit room, 400 watts of light directly hitting the screen. Let me show you this one more time before I start this. For those of you that we made this a challenge, we care to do the challenge. This is how it's done properly. Now you see where the light is reflecting off my floor. That's what I love about this floor. You see that's where the light is physically hitting the screen. Now, before we start this, it's not going to be too dark in here because the sun's already coming up on my end. Right now the windows are blocking most of it out. So now lights out. That's how much physical light's hitting the screen. As you can see, my screen is not dark. Next back on. You got to do these demonstrations, man. I'm telling you, got to do these demonstrations. People who half-step these demonstrations do not do proper demonstrations. They rush the work. The work is rushed. And that's where you got to be. That's what you got to be careful about. All right, so let's start this. Now, here we go. Zoom up. Now mind, this is the screen being hit with physical. Now, if you notice at 16 feet back, my screen has overlapped. Now mind you, I'm going to pause right here. Look at the color of the flower. Look at the color of the wall. You see the difference? See the flower right there? See the wall. The wall is bland and washed out. The flower is vivid and bright on the titanium 4K, being hit with 400 watts of light. If that screen was taken on 4,000, especially without the shades on, you see the little lamp shades on it, that entire wall, all this would be blinded out. Those of you who use those kind of lights before, I've used those. I used to do construction, so I've used those kind of lights before, basically doing demolition and stuff like that, late night demolition. So I've used those lights before, and I know darn well when you turn those things on, those things look literally like the spotlights you have on top of a Jeep. They will light that entire area up. So if I know that thing is being hit with that kind of light, that entire area will be illuminated, big time. But this is the kind of stuff you have to be careful for, because I said people will try to give the illusion that their screen is doing something that it's not doing. Even though you can't see her because half of her body is cut off due to the fact the other half is hitting my wall behind me, actually the wall behind the screen, because you can see how far the screen's back. Now if I had this projector fitting, the picture was fitting this image, that would show that the projector is literally sitting on top of the screen. Now, the reason why they do this is have the projector literally sitting on top of the screen is because they know that the closer the projector is, the tighter the pixelation is going to be, and you know, it's going to show a picture regardless on how much light you're hitting the screen. Some of it may fade out a little bit here and there, but it's still going to be able to show a visible picture for you to see. Alright, so we got the women in the field with the pretty flowers on. I'm not going to go too far into this because I have a lot of work to do today. As I said before, we have contracts that we are looking over right now. Actually, one contract is one particular company that has done right by us. We love them. Man, they're fantastic. They're absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to sign this contract with them. I really can't. Alright, just showing you different pieces. Flowers. Let's get right here and just show some pink flowers here. There we go. Just breaking it up in bits and pieces just to show you. There you go. You can see for yourself. Now mind, this is a 2000 lumen projector. This is 720p. We are around 16 feet back. The measuring tape is literally 16. Alright, so now let's go into some blues. Come out of here real quick. Look at this. That's how bright YouTube comes up on this. Any things like TVs. Now see the yellows here? Yellows here are more vivid here. I'm going to pull my stand all the way back here. This is something that's very important too. Also too, you must show the back of your projector. So you see how far back I am? You see how I'm showing the projector from a distance. I'm way back here and you can still see the screen perfectly. Way back here. This is how these tests are supposed to be done. Because like I said, they will take it down to a facility, man, and they will test the daylights out of it. And if it doesn't pass, well, you'll get that phone call saying, look, man, we're not interested in your product. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do. It may, like I said, people who do these demonstrations, they don't do them properly. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors. Just like I was talking about the 4K upscaling. Projectors sitting too close to the screen. That's a perfect example right now. In that demonstration, projector is just sitting way too close to the screen, because as you can see from the size of the screen and the fact there's nothing overlapping it, it's fitting that image, that square perfectly. You can see that the projector is sitting that close. Where is the measuring tape? How far is your projector physically sitting back from the screen? Now I can say to my customers, hey, look, guess what? You can pull your projector back 23 feet and it'll look fantastic. And I've done it at 23 feet. I've done it at 25 feet. You know, I can tell them that. Now, if you have a long throw, of course you're going to have your projector back farther, because, like I said, a long throw, you got to bring it back farther to actually get a bigger screen, or you're going to lose some picture quality. Now, depending on how much light you have in your environment. It's kind of like the same thing, you know, if you're a sniper and you fire off a round, right? Okay, you got to count the fact that wind philosophy, you got to count all that into the factor. Same thing with the lights, and you got to count all that in there, how much per square inch and how much light, you know what I mean, so forth. So if you fire off a round, and that when that bullet's traveling, gravity will pull on that bullet, and that bullet will start to drop. So you actually have to kind of shoot like a little bit higher than where your target's at, so it basically lands and hits that mark. I know some of you guys, a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. If you play any Modern Warfare, Call of Duty, you do know that baseline, when you fire a shot, you know, you usually fire over a little, slightly over the top, so it basically drops. The game is realistic enough. And if you notice, look at the screen, corner to corner, all right. You gotta be I'm standing back here. You can see the back of the projector, my projector's sitting. Look at the stingray playing in the sand. Not a big swimmer, but I tell you, if I saw that in the water, that would have freaked me out. Look at that. Now you see, that's how much physical light is hitting the screen. This is how it's done. Can't half-step those demonstrations. It's very important to do these demonstrations properly. Now, if this was assumed to say, I'm not going to say the number that was given, but if this was 4,000 watts, 4,000 watts would light that entire area, boom, completely up. It would light it up completely. The floor would be illuminated. See where the lights are hitting my floor? See the light cascading here? See how this whole area is illuminated? If this area is dark around here, that's something's wrong there. Something's physically wrong there. Look at this back here. I'm gonna stand back here. I'm gonna get down on one knee so you can see the jellyfish from the distance on where I'm standing, where I'm sitting, actually literally sitting now. You can see my measuring tape. You can see how far my measuring tape goes back, 16 feet. See the pretty blues. Oh, that's me walk in front of the screen. See how beautiful that looks? Look at that. And that screen looks incredible. Alright, let's back it up here a bit. I don't want to trip over my projector because it is right behind me. Alright, see, look at that. It's physical light now on the screen. So as I said before, you know, you gotta watch out for these smoke and mirror gimmicks on people who claim to have these screens that are so-called ambient light rejection, but they're not. They're far from it. They're nowhere near ambient light rejection. They're just not. If we were to do the exact same demonstration, that screen would fail miserably. Watch this. Want to watch a football game? You can watch a football game with 4,000 watts of light. Not 400 watts of light hitting the screen. So this is a bit of, before I sign off, this is a bit of an awareness video. That you have to know what you're looking at, alright? Because the smoke and mirror trick, for people like me who have been in this business for quite some time, we know what to look for. The professionals, we know what to look for. You don't even have to be a professional. Just basically just look at the screen and you can tell that if a screen is being hit, let's say with 4,000 watts of light, that bottom area of the screen would be lit. I mean, that would be illuminated. The wall would be illuminated. All this would be bright. So how is 4,000 hitting the screen, but yet the screen around the area is dark? See, that shows you something right there is wrong. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video demonstration. I'd like to thank you all for watching. You guys all have a good one. I'll just let you know that the technology that you're seeing in the titanium 4K gold is also embedded. It's actually not so much of a, it's also, the code is actually embedded in our new blackout cloth screens, also too in our fixed frame screens, which are absolutely amazing. Hope you enjoyed the video demonstration. I'd like to thank you all for watching.